It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Welcome to Humanity Junction. Tonight on Trains and Tech, well, I don't know what we're going to do. I've got a poll going. I'm either going to build a bridge or I'm going to run some trains. And I'm actually kind of surprised at the current results of the poll because I thought people were going to choose that I'm going to run trains. So if you want me to run trains and you haven't answered the poll yet, you might want to answer the poll because right now it's looking like I'm building a bridge. The problem with building the bridge is I haven't even looked at the instructions to build the bridge. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to build the bridge, but I'm ready to run some trains. So I might run some trains either way. I mean, Dennis from Otter Creek's telling me to run trains. So I don't know. And it is, I mean, it's so close to 50-50, right? That, I mean, I don't know. Is there really a definitive answer or, you know, result no matter which way I go? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Hit the button if you want. I got one thing to show, maybe two if I'm lucky, but I don't know what I'm doing. As usual, this is yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Paul, I like that. We need two-thirds or it's dealer's choice. Is that what you're telling me? So I get to decide if we don't get a more specific, a more direct answer, I guess you can say. So I got something in the mail. I've been posting some members-only pictures on YouTube, so I'm actually not completely sure what pictures I've posted and what pictures I haven't posted. But if we go over the desk here, I do have, and I'm not going to run these right now, but I did just get the Atlas 100-year New Jersey Transit Collaborative locomotive. This is N scale. Nice, really nice looking locomotive. It's an ALP, what does it say, 445 DP. This is the Gold Series one, so it's got all the bells and whistles, got the sound and everything going. I will get it on the layout. Some people were saying there's some issue with the truck. I didn't really understand what it was. They said it's really, really easy to solve, but I need to look into that a little bit more. But I got this guy, and because when you think of the Riverside Transfer and all my 40-foot boxcars, it makes you think of passenger trains. I also got the 3-car add-on set that goes with it. So I think this is all they made, was the 1 locomotive and the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're showing 6 cars here, but I think they only made 3 of them. So it's a multi-level cab car, multi-level trailer, and multi-level trailer with toilet. So, you know, if you need to go to the bathroom, I guess you just got to get into this one. But yeah, I think this is it. So, modern commuter set, New Jersey Transit, Atlas 100 anniversary. It'll go in the drawer next to all of my other, my other passenger trains that I don't run. So I go back and forth on this. I'm not doing any member only videos. I'm only posting up some pictures, so it's kind of, you know, I don't know. You know, become a member if you want to see some photos, or just support what I'm up to. Like, I don't know, it's still 55-45 with 40 votes. So I might be attempting to build a bridge, and then maybe we'll run a train. I've got Manhattanville's ready for me to switch, and that's what I was going to switch tonight, is Manhattanville. What's kind of interesting about Manhattanville is it's got a facing point and a trailing point, so you do have to run around at some point. So it's got that going for it, but I don't know, people seem to want me to build a bridge. Okay, people keep asking about this envelope. I'm going to show you guys what I'm dealing with. I mean, I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. This is just so crazy. I've been talking to a guy at UPS, and I finally thought that we were getting somewhere. On the 20th, it was down in Pensacola, Florida, and I was talking to this guy, and he said, you know, I reached out. They're going to pull the box. They're going to get it delivered. But then I didn't see anything for a while, and then it went back to New York. So I don't even know anymore. I think it's on its 7th trip. I really just don't know anymore. And they didn't catch it in New York and just deliver it to me. So now it's back in Jersey City. I expect, so let's see, this is the 26th, which is today at 8 a.m. So tomorrow or maybe Friday, I'll get a scan that it's in Georgia on its way to Florida. Yeah, Paul, I mean, it'd be great, right? If every other month or so we could go down and run on some of those really great layouts down there in Florida. Enjoy some of the good weather. I gotta say, I mean, this has to be one of the most expensive packages ever. What I was told is that what they did is they apparently put a return to sender label on it back on January 24th, which is why it keeps getting sent back to New York, but nobody really understands why it keeps getting sent from New York back to me. So I don't know, but been running the layout. I did have another op session last Friday. I had a whole bunch of issues with shorts on the layout. Not shorts like that you wear, but shorts like electrical shorts. Took a while, but I think I've solved it. Essentially, I did 2 things. I disabled Railcom in the command station, and I used to have a booster, and I think where the booster was, it was kind of causing problems. So now everything's on one bus run. it all works, but that was, if you saw the trailer video at the beginning, the reason I was running the 8 locomotives at once was that everything was fine when I was running 4 locomotives. When I got up to 5 or 6 locomotives, things started shorting. So I figured it was some sort of like overload type situation. So I ran the 8 locomotives quickly, ran the 8 locomotives slowly, and seems to have solved the issues. I don't know. It was actually, it's actually pretty nice in New York now. So, so Dennis, I reached out to the manufacturer, and what they said is that if there are current spikes, that sometimes if the current spikes are too long, that you'll get these false trips. They told me how to slow down these current spikes, but what I decided I wanted to try and do was, instead of kind of putting a band-aid on it, I decided I wanted to try and figure out what was actually wrong. And I think what was wrong is that I think, I'm not sure, but I think that the DR5033, which is what I was using as the booster, is auto switching. So it will automatically switch from one polarity to the other. I think that it was getting confused and potentially switching, and it was switching really quickly, but it would cause a short. So that's what I think happened. Okay, so now I've got a huge conundrum. If I end the poll right now with 45 votes, and we've got what? How many people are in here? Oh, we got 45 people in here. No, 55 people in here. So there are 10 people that haven't voted. So that's 10 people that haven't voted could sway the poll in one direction or another. Because right now, essentially, with margin of error, we're even Steven. But yeah, the other thing that I do have is I've got some of these, I think they're called bus spike protectors. And I'm going to probably, of course I came over here and now I'm not going to be able to find them. Yeah, of course now I can't find them. Although they might be in this other drawer. See, the great thing about having so many drawers for storage is that I can never find anything when I need it. Yep, nope, they're not here either. I don't know where they are, but somewhere I have something called a bus spike protector. I think it's essentially a resistor at the end of the run. I'm going to install one at this end here, and I'll install one at this end here. It does add some load, but it supposedly helps pull out some of the transient spikes. Mike, it's interesting that you say that, because I had to do that as well. I had to basically wire the booster backwards. It was always wrong, and it was always resetting. And I just found that by flipping the wires on the booster, for whatever reason, that it went fine. Even running those 8 locomotives, I don't think, now I'm not sure completely. I don't think I was more than like 1.2 amps, I think. So it's very rare that on this layout I'll ever run more than 8 locomotives. So that was pretty much running it at its limit. Everything had sound on. So I think we're in good shape. I'm going to end this poll now. I got to say, this is about the least decisive poll I've ever run. I need to copy and paste this, because if I don't copy and paste this, I can't bring it up on the screen. But essentially, it's run a train or build a bridge. Build the bridge was 53. Run the train was 46. 53 plus 46, the last time I checked, did not equal 100%. So go figure that one. But the bridge did win. So let's talk about this bridge for a second. Let's actually turn around. Why don't I show you where I'm gonna put the bridge? Might as well start there. So I did not test that this camera is gonna work. So there is a slight chance I'm gonna bring this camera up and it's not gonna work, because 99 out of 100 times it does not work the first time I switch to it. So let's see what happens. And it worked the first try. All right, so here's the plan. Let's actually tilt up, because then you can actually see the pictures. So if you notice, in this picture right here, there's this huge long bridge, and it essentially goes from one end of the yard all the way past what you can see. This picture as well over here, look over here, that way, thank you. This also has a bridge that seems to run on forever. This has a bridge here that seems to run on forever. If we keep turning even further, this picture here has a bridge that seems to run on forever. So I may or may not have mentioned this. I don't know if I have or not. But this is going to be the IRT powerhouse, which is this here in this photo. And it is also in this photo here, right there. It is not in this photo because we're looking in the other direction, but essentially from here, right, all the way down here at this end, all the way down, all the way around, all the way to the IRT powerhouse over here, essentially there's this highway. So if we go back to one of my original design ideas for the layout, I was going to have the layout go out and then back, and the coming back was going to be on an elevated section, right? And that was going to kind of basically, that was going to be that bridge, which is actually now a car bridge, but I was going to make it a railroad bridge. So I was always kind of planning to have this bridge back there. If you look up the West Side Highway, or if you look up, it used to be called the Miller Highway. Originally, it was called the Miller Highway. Now it's called the West Side Highway. If you look back there, so my thought was, the idea is to kind of like, I don't know, to kind of tie things in a little bit more to where this yard is, which is along the water on the other side of the bridge. I'm basically gonna run a bridge from over here all the way down there, and the height of the bridge is actually really high, right? Like if we look at like this picture here, right, you can, well, I don't know, can you see? Can you see? Oh yeah, I should not start singing. That is a surefire way to get everybody to leave. You can kind of make out in this bridge just how high it is. You can, I don't know, can you see? The cars where they are here, there's this other bracing and then whatever. So this is a very, very tall bridge structure. So the idea, or kind of what I am planning on doing, is having this be a fairly high bridge structure, where actually you can make it out in this photo here, right? If you look at this photo, let's see, can I move that? I'm like trying to, you can see in this photo, like these buildings, which are like 2 stories tall here, are still way below the height of that bridge, right? So I've got a lot of I got a lot of space where I can put this bridge in. So I went online and started looking around, and what I really need to do, what I really want to do, is 3D print the bridge, because it'd be nice to have the bridge actually look correct, right? I mean, that would be the ideal situation. And there is another person modeling that kind of area that actually has a design for the Miller Highway, and he's actually printing it as well. So what I did is this is a no, I don't think I'm building a 3D printer now. Does microengineering make a early highway overpass bridge? I don't know. Sean is getting to me with all of his printer talk, but I think I'm okay so far. But my thought was these are cheap, right? They're not very expensive, and my thought was that I would use this as a stand-in for my potential future bridge. And what I'm not sure about is, if we go back to looking at like this photo, right? What I'm not sure about is, should I build, you know, the entire bridge, right? Like basically take one of these kits and do like the whole bridge, or should I just cut the bridges right down the center, and then I'll have twice as many bridges, but they'll, you know, well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, these Rix things are so, customizable. They are pretty easy to cut if I want to cut them. I have, I guess obviously, but I do have some other Rix buildings on the layout. Oh, I just looked over here and I don't know why, but there's a locomotive just laying on its side. I don't know when and how that happened. But anyway, so I only bought one kit. If we look here, I only brought one overpass kit with the piers. All of these other ones don't have the piers. This is only the top. So already I have to, if nothing else, build the piers. But these piers look nothing like what's there. Not that the highway, none of it looks like anything. Here's the thing, right? You say, okay, this is going to be temporary, and I'm just going to build this, and it's just going to be a temporary structure. And I know that 5 years from now, if this layout still exists in this location, it is very likely that this temporary bridge is still going to be there as a temporary bridge. But yeah, I'll use Plastruct or something to make the piers, especially because I want to make the piers much taller than anything that comes in the kit. But that's the plan. Yeah, if I build it, it will be permanent. Yeah, I'm thinking about half. Not a bad idea to double it. So let me turn the camera around. Let's see. So let's turn this camera around. We'll tilt it down. I'll point it down at this table. So I did set up a table because I thought like there might be a slight, very, very slight chance that people want me to delve into this bridge kit. But I said, no way, not likely. So I haven't, none of these are open. Absolutely none of these are open. So let's open, you know what? Actually, let's open one of these without the pier. I mean, I don't need the pier, right? Let's open one of these without the pier. We'll look at the instructions. We'll see whether we want to cut it in half or what we want to do. Yes. So there is smoke. I'm not burning. I know. No. Everything's okay. Everything's okay. No need to call out the enforcement. I have a, I don't know if can you see it now? There's what's that thing called? The humidifier. All of the heat is radiators, and it just really, really dries everything out. So what happens in the train room is, if everything is really, really dried out, when you walk over to the layout and touch something, you shock yourself. So in order to avoid shocking yourself, you need to keep the humidity up at about 35% or so. It's at 28% right now, so I could be shocking myself, but that's where we're at. Okay, early highway overpass. I should have turned this so that I could actually see. I can't see the, I've got an iPad here so that I could read it, but then I put the camera, hold on. Come on now, Heath. I know, it makes me seem like I'm new. Well, one of two things is happening right now. Either I really, really, really don't want to try and figure out this bridge, or I just have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And you're all seeing that live right now on camera. So you guys decide which one it is, one way or another. Yeah, Dennis, so in my room, in this room here, when I'm at like 15%, I get shocked like crazy if I get too close to the rails. So, why not both what? Oh, that was the wrong one. Why can't it be both? Oh, why can't what be both? I don't know what I was talking about. Can someone remind me what I was talking about? Because I was thinking of like 6 different things, and I don't even know what I'm thinking about right now. Okay, so what I did not get is a screwdriver or a knife to open this package. So it, well, David, I mean, ideally the whole thing. I mean, ideally I want it to look like the bridge in the picture, not like this, but you know, this kind of works for now. Oh, I was talking about incompetence. Yeah. Oh, right. Now I get it. You guys were responding to, okay. Here are the instructions. We have a flat-sided beam. We have wedges. We have a step. We have a curve. We have a pillar. Roadway, flat beam, I-beams, wedges. Does anybody understand? I guess at the end of the day, I really just need to look at the pictures, right? Oh, I see. The wedges are just the wedges. I get it now. I don't know. Microengineering has tower kits that can be used. Check them out. Interesting. In N scale, I'm guessing. So one thing that I'm thinking of doing as well is the track is kind of close-ish to the back wall, so I've got enough room for the pier, but I may use a little bit of what's that called? Artistic license? Yeah, see, if I cut this thing in half, I don't know. I mean, it's going to work. It's just going to be like tiny if I cut it in half. So this, I guess this goes like that. I don't really, and then this, like if there's a next one, I guess, do I put it in the other direction, I guess, so they double up on the ends? That's probably what it is, right? Is you put, they've got little like two-sided on these so you can, oh, I see. That's kind of, it's kind of sticking up. It's funny, like, I don't know why this is kind of like my brain is not working, but there's just a little nub in here, and we'll just see, is there anything here? Nope. So you can see when it comes out of the mold, there's just a little bit of whatever that thing is called, where when they stick the plastic into the mold, that's what that little hole was there. So it looks like as you extend this and make it longer, these would get glued together like, well, I thought it would be like that, but they're not. It's not overlapping the way I would have expected it to. But why? What am I doing wrong? Why is my brain not working? Because it should look like that. Oh, there we go. Am I just blind? So it looks like... Are people like yelling at me in the chat right now? People are probably like, duh, what are you doing? See, but it doesn't line up when I do this. I don't know. This is ejector pin mark. Sounds about right. No, it's not the mold line. It's where the plastic gets injected. When you find out, let me know. Maybe it'll figure out why mine isn't working. You're talking about why... Too late, Paul. Too late. I guess, so what's confusing is I don't understand. I guess there is a right and a left, but I would think that they would line up. I thought you'd like put them, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know as if like magically I'm going to figure this out. Oh, I see. So this beam, this one beam, I don't know, can you guys see that? This one beam is flat on the back and these other ones are double-sided. So the flat one, so this, I see. So the flat ones go on the ends. And I guess you don't want to go over that overlap. So the flat ones go right to the edge of the roadway. So what do you think? Should we just start gluing this sucker together? I mean, what can go wrong? So worst case scenario, what happens is I start building this. It doesn't work out. I do like a big cut on the video. And then we come back like 3 weeks later and magically I'll have everything, together and looking neat. And the way I'll have done that, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but the way I'll have done that is that I will just, I'll open up one of the other kits that I have. All right, so do we think that this glue is going to work for this? I've already got fingerprints on it. That's just great. I guess what I should do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 1 2 3 blocks. Yeah, I can steam them loose. I'm going to get 2 1 2 3 blocks, and I'm not going to use them, I guess, in maybe a traditional way. I don't know. I guess this is a traditional way. Why wouldn't it be considered a traditional way? So I'm going to use the one block is the edge on that side, the other block on the edge on this side. So we're going to make a little, a little something to push things against, right? So now I've got this thing down there. I got it all lined up. If I push this into the corner there, it should be perfect. And if I take out this glue and get ready to glue it, is this flat? Yeah, that looks flat. All right, so if I put this here, I line this up. It's not pushing, it doesn't seem to be pushing up against everything. I don't know, what could go wrong? Heath, I just looked and there is a YouTube video on how to assemble the bridge. What's funny is I actually did recently watch a video of a guy assembling this bridge. I did comment on it and he actually wrote back. I think he assembled it like 2 years ago or something. So the video's been out there for a while. So you think that I would have probably watched it like 10 more times or something like that. And yeah, bookcase disasters. We don't have those around here. Come on now. Yeah, so I think this is bent a little bit, or at least if I push it up against the thing. How much glue should I use? Half the bottle, most of the bottle, all of the bottle? Just giving a little downward pressure. I wonder why Heath doesn't answer my question. What was your question, Anthony? I probably missed it. I may have been busy, not paying attention. I know people would be shocked to hear I'm not paying attention. Well, that seemed to kind of work-ish. I always, there's a little glue that stuck out the sides, but once I add my usual amount of paint on this sort of thing, it will, it'll hide all that. Plus, I can use this sandpaper. This sandpaper is like 400 grit, so like it barely takes anything off. But it'll probably take enough of that. Well, I was thinking it'd take enough of that edge off to clean it up, but doing this actually kind of made it look worse. Okay, there it is. It's a little better there. All right, so let's, should we glue the other side on? We're doing so well, and it's only 9:36. I need to use all of the glue, if not more. What is likely to happen with the glue is that I will spill it all over myself and all over everything. That is probably the most likely thing that's going to happen with the glue. Okay, so we're building the little wall of terror again, making sure everything is lined up, pushed into the corner, and if I can get in there with a little dab of glue, hopefully that'll hold on the edge. That's the fun part with glue. Is when you spill it all over everything. Yeah, I actually, I've spilled a couple different things. Oh yeah, that worked. I spilled a couple different things. The area with the boat, car float, up there, I actually spilled a bottle of liquid flux all over that. That was a lot of fun to clean up. I got to tell you, if you don't know what fun is, trying to clean up a whole bunch of flux off of a painted piece of plywood, man, that is where it's at. Yeah, exactly. Yes, 100%. Just throw enough paint over it, and yeah. So, it's not really even glued in the center here, but why does that matter, right? Oh, I've already got a fingerprint of stuff on this. That is obviously where there was some glue, and when I did the sanding, the glue stuck to the bottom. Okay, so the next thing we need to do to this, or at least the way I'm building this, is to add in some of these center beams. And these center beams, a lot of them have those injection things that we were talking about earlier on them. So it wants to have 5 beams total, right? So the 2 on the outside that I already have. So this one, I guess, is going to be the center one. And luckily for me, the way I did these beams, there are no lines. There's lines on this side. I don't know if you can make that out. There's lines on this side. There are not lines on this side. So I don't know how to find the center. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. I mean, I can guess, right? I mean, this is just going up against the wall. People, if this is against the wall here, people aren't going to be able to see where the beams are, which I guess is making me question, do I even need to put the beams on there, right? Like if it's facing this way and you can see the end of it, you need the beams, but if it's against the wall, do I really need to put all 5 beams on? Is anybody going to stick their head far enough under the layout that they see that? Let's see here. Let's get the round one. These are the Tamiya files. They work fine. The cheap ones work fine. I don't know. I also have some sanding sticks that might actually work a little better for this, what I'm doing. Grandpa Rel says just eyeball it. Yeah. If there's anything like trying to round up mercury when it hits the floor, no, harder. Much harder. Yeah. Is this a Rapido or Athearn blue box of bridges? I would say this is a Athearn blue box. There is very little to any detailing on this. I think that that's really intentional, right? I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is the kind of bridge that you get because you just need something or want something to, to take up some space on the layout and have a little extra nice little detail on the layout, but it doesn't really, you're not going to be taking your microscope out. I've asked this question over 10 times. Oh, I got to scroll back now. Let's see what Anthony asked. Here we go. I wonder why Heath doesn't ask my question. Well, that was the previous one. So let's keep scrolling back. Yeah, right? Do a cooking show and have one already made. That would have been smart. Although I really thought people were going to ask me to run trains, so I'm a little confused by all this. Okay, I scrolled as far back as I could on this iPad, and it didn't show me Anthony's question. So I'm sorry, Anthony, but I don't have a way to go back far enough to see your question. Run trains. Andy's saying run trains. He's saying enough with the nonsense. I don't know, like I'm trying to make this like straight or centered on this other side, but I don't think I put this side in straight. So I think now I'm a little bit off. I don't know why. Now that I've started the bridge, I feel like I have to finish the bridge. So now everybody's like, enough with the bridge already. Just go run trains. But now I'm in the middle of it. It's N scale. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Oof. Oof. Yeah, so the center beam can line up at the center of the road. The problem is, though, the road is labeled on this side, not on this side. So I'm a little bit off, but, that's, I guess that's just who I am. I'm just a little bit off. So we're going to take this and we're going to go down the center here and clean off the little bit of nonsense that's there. So now that I've got the three on here, I'm going to add another one in the center of these two. And so the reason I guess I'm kind of trying to take the care to line this up is so that when I build all of these and put them all together end to end, it doesn't look like a complete and total hack job, which I'm starting to realize that I don't know that I have much of a choice. Not the bridge over troubled water. It is over the bridge over the train tracks, though. So if you want a good place to do some rail fanning, I should probably get this this bridge put in. Let's see if does it work better this way. On Friday night, I'm actually going to an event, and I think somebody might be there that probably may have run a train that ran through this yard. I'm 99% sure he's run a train through this yard as well. Oh, Andy, you're going to that event as well? Huh. Oh, no. It's not centered. I was looking at the comments and somehow it got itself uncentered. There we go. That's better. How did that end up uncentered? Uncentered? Is uncentered a word? So what I think the key is going to be is I think I'm going to have to probably just attach all of these road beds together and run all of these beams out as one thing. Because if I try and do this, if I try and build one and then build the other and put them together, I think they're never going to line up. So I think what I need to do is probably open all of these up and build all of the ones that I have as one big long. And when I say long, I mean, how many kits do I have? Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kits. And the length of this is, so this is a 1, 2, 3 block, so it's like 4 inches. I guess I could look at the thing. 3 3/4 of an inch. So each span is a scale 50 feet long. So this is 50 feet in end scale. So I guess my yard is really, really long. Oh, geez. Why are you still sick? Don's got an op session Friday. Ours isn't an op session. What we're going to is kind of a layout tour, kind of a hangout. If you guys don't know, Andy started a group called the Manhattan Modelers. The goal is to try and connect with more modelers around the New York City area, just to kind of have some camaraderie. And there really aren't any model railroading clubs in New York City anymore. Even the New York Society of Model Engineers, that for years was on 42nd Street, I believe it is, in Manhattan, is now in New Jersey. So the idea was just to start something Manhattan-based. So we're going to basically outside of my layout, the closest layout to Manhattan. It's a layout that is in much better shape than mine, runs much better than mine. Well, I don't know that it runs much better, but it's much bigger, much more well established. The person that owns it actually knows what they're doing. Yeah. The New York Society what meets in New Jersey? Yeah, exactly. The New York Society of Model Engineers meets in New Jersey. Wait, you're not sick anymore, but you're still coughing. You were sick the last time you were down here. They're not supposed to line up. They come together at the support. Oh, interesting. So you're saying that I don't need, because what I was going to do now is, instead of, like, the next thing to do basically is to glue these railings on. But instead of gluing the railings on, what I was going to do was open up another kit, basically pull out, here we go again. Like, you'd think I would have gotten scissors or something at this point. Yeah, this is true too. The New York football teams are over in Jersey, actually pretty close to where the New York Society of Model Engineers is. So if I take this out, so what I was going to do is glue this on and basically just keep going, and just run all of the these beams out and just make it kind of, you know, have them just kind of line up and go out. I'm hoping, I probably should have put a little dab of glue on that tab before I smushed it, but it'll get in there. Scott, you missed absolutely nothing. I'm still trying to build a bridge. I'm still getting nowhere. The bridge is not getting me where I need to go at all. So like now, if I take this, right, and if I use this and use my skills of precision alignment guesstimation, because precision guesstimation is something that I think a lot of us do in this hobby. So I would basically just put this here like this and tack this on this corner. And then once that kind of dries on that corner, I would come over to this corner and tack it in this corner, and basically just make these all kind of line up and kind of just keep going, right? I mean, like, why? How many of these did I say I have? I can't even remember. And this might not be all of them too. There is a very good possibility that I have more of these hiding somewhere, but I'm not really sure. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of them at whatever this is, like 3 3/4 of an inch. So how long is that going to be? That's not going to be, I don't think that's going to be long enough to, I don't think that's going to be long enough to fill what I need to fill. I think it's going to come up short, which means either I need to build or buy, I should say buy. I don't need to build. I need to buy more. Can any of you guys ask my question to Heath? How did he create his backdrop in New York City? Okay, so that backdrop of New York City, the way I did that is I went online and I found an image that is probably not free. And I stole the image off of the website. I scaled it up a little bit. It is not to scale. It is significantly under scale. But I originally built it for the time saver. So I wanted it to be about the length of the time saver. So it's not to scale. So what I did was I printed out the picture on, I think, just a LaserJet printer that I had, just on like regular paper. I glued it to foam core and basically pieced it together and made the background. I do recommend, if you like that style of background, one of the sponsors is actually Nick from PGH Train Fanatics. And if you go over to his site, he doesn't specifically have that one, but he does have a lot of different background flats that are of similar type of style, similar type of like image on cardstock stuff things. Yeah, we love probably not free. I know, it happens. Is it too late to vote to run a train? I don't know, but you can definitely go over to Scott Rail's channel, and he is generally running trains. I don't know. When are you streaming next, Scott? Is it Friday, your next one? But he's always running trains, so you could definitely head over there as well. Like, I figure I'll just keep streaming, right? I mean, I've got, what did I say, 4 more of these to go. If I just keep going and going and going, eventually I'll build a bridge to get myself out of New York, right? I mean, that is the way this would theoretically happen. So this guy needs to go up against the edge. You see, I'm still actually like trying to, I'm still using blocks and stuff to try and keep things aligned. Never seen before here on this channel. I'm actually trying to do something correct and have it make it look nice. All images want to be free. So I'm conflicted about that, because I do some photography. I've done photography for a little while. I enjoy photography. I don't like stealing people's images. I do consider it stealing. This image, like, I'm using it for my personal use. I'm not selling it or anything like that. I'm not, making money off of it or anything. So I kind of feel like it's okay-ish. But yeah, Lynn, I'm gonna do an over 4-hour live stream tonight. Just putting these together. So if you're looking for 1, 2, 3 blocks, there are 2 different styles. mainly two different styles. The one with the holes and the one without the holes. The one with the holes, the reason for the holes is if you are a machinist and you're using this, obviously you can put bolts and stuff through it, right? So if you need to bolt it down to your CNC machine, you've got holes to bolt it down. It also makes it a lot lighter, which is kind of nice. For the model railroading stuff, though, I gotta say, I really like the solid ones. If I buy more, I'm gonna buy more solid ones. The solid ones are heavier. Heavy is good if you want to weigh things down. There's also not holes that like you're trying to line something up and it ends up like your piece is lined up with a hole and you kind of end up, you know, messing yourself up. So yeah, so I would, I'd get the solid ones. Don't get the holy ones. I am definitely a solid kind of guy when it comes to 1, 2, 3 blocks. There are other ways to do this, of course. Like I could be using like that. Now my finger's in the way. I could be using that Micromark magnetic table thing, right? Like I do actually have one of those as well. It would probably make sense to use that for something like this, where I'm trying to get things lined up. But, you know, by the time you get all the sections together, it'll be longer than that snack table. I hope so. This snack table ain't too big. This is what, if you want to know what model railroaders with a lack of space have to go through, is if you want your layout to take up the walls in your room and you don't have a spot for a table, you end up having to do things on a TV card table. Yes, I am talking about the cookie sheet with magnets that Micromark sells for a lot of money. Oh, there you go. So yeah, so the blocks with the holes work well if you want to stand things up in them, like poles and trees. But Steve says he's done. Darn hotel airports, or not hotel airports, hotel Wi-Fi. All right, so let's pop this one last one in here. And then I won't make everybody watch me do the rest of them. Instead, maybe I'll go over there and we'll pick up the throttle and we'll set everything up, and maybe we'll get a little bit of the Manhattanville stuff done, because I do need to get that done. My next operating session over here is currently planned for March 10th, although at this time I don't have anybody that wants to come operate on the layout, which, you know, I guess they've probably seen what's happened the last couple of op sessions and have run for the hills. So I'll probably need to send out another email and see if there are any takers. This is all weavy. I don't know if this was actual steel. I think somebody would have been fired. Metric 1, 2, 3 blocks. Are you pulling my leg? Why would you want a metric 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inch block? I think you're pulling my leg. I think you're doing it. I think you're doing it just to confuse me. Yeah, last one we had some pretty good operators at. We had 2 Johns and an Andy. 2 of the guys were architects. One of the guys is a trained artist, a very, very accomplished modeler. Man, this center one right here is really bothering me how wavy it is. I don't know if you can see, but this first one that I did is so much better than this second one that I did. It is like all over the place. What was I thinking? So I don't have the centers glued, so I'm trying to straighten them a little bit by gluing the centers. But I don't know. Let's switch it up. So Manhattanville, we didn't quite, Manhattanville is generally one of the last things that gets switched. I need to start looking at how I need to start looking at some of the numbers of things that get switched on the layout to see if I want to kind of switch things up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. 25 by 50 by 75. Exactly. Exactly. So this is Manhattanville. There's an industry here on this side, and then there's an industry here on this side. So depending on which way you're coming, there's a facing and a trailing point. In general, it's a good idea to, you know, to run them both as trailing points. So when you're heading north, you'll operate that one. When you're heading south, you'll operate this one. But yeah, this kind of gets left till the end, and we kind of aren't getting to it. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to just spin around real quick. What's happening is that, wow, that was probably really fast. What's happening is this IRT building is what we're switching first. And there's 24 cars in it. If you don't very clearly know what you're doing over there, you can get really kind of tied up and spend a lot of time on that side and never get to Manhattanville. So Manhattanville kind of gets the short straw. So one solution, I guess, is to run less trains. The other solution is to figure out maybe to do Manhattanville earlier in the session. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not sure what the best answer is. Spinning the camera around and making everybody sick is the fastest thing that I've done. Yeah, that's probably true. I do still, you know, we still got the letter. The letter is still here. The letter is still ready to be opened as soon as USPS delivers my my package. Yes, the op session is sequence based, but it's so I guess here's the thing. It's sequence based, but I have set a sequence that doesn't really matter. It's just that I've just set a sequence, right? I mean, it's this really is a 3-person collaborative puzzle. You can, for the most part, do 85% of it in any order you want. There are obviously some, you know, space constraints where you got to pull cars before you spot cars. There is one situation where to get the cars into Marine and River Division, you have to cross the person that's working at the IRT powerhouse. But I actually think that based on what I'm seeing, I don't think it's as necessary for the IRT powerhouse guy to like get out of the way. They just have to kind of, the Riverside guy just has to time. So I guess what I'm saying is I think the order of things can kind of change a little bit as there are more and more experienced operators, right? So Andy and John that were here last time have both operated on the layout before. Jonathan that came here, it was his first time, but it was really interesting to see how much better understanding of the layout and how the layout works their second time here. Well, Andy's been here a lot more than 2 times, but John was here, this was the second time. So he had a completely different understanding of the layout. He could plan ahead better than he was able to plan ahead before. So yeah, I do think this sequence doesn't matter if the operators know how the layout moves, which, you know, the guys that ran this area would have known this like the back of their hand. So yeah, it really is set up to be collaborative. That's just the way it is. All right, so the poll was close, right? The poll was 54%, 49%. So 49% of people say Now's the time to start running trains.
It's all about humanity. About humanity.